Hi, everybody. Okay, where do I even start? So, Monday Night Football. We'll also get into the Jets as well. But, the Jets didn't get blown out, and Zach Wilson actually played well, so we'll get into that. But the New York Giants. You see this here? I have this paper bag with me, right? This paper bag. I used to always, have a paper bag at my side. Other than last year when they made the playoffs, I would always have my trusty friend, the paper bag. This paper bag. And you know what we would do with paper bags here at MetLife Stadium? We put it on our heads and we say we suck because the Giants are a disaster this year. And I am changing my tune. Rodrick said 8-9 for the Giants, and I'm saying 6-11 at best because this team sucks and they have a tough schedule. And I don't see them beating Miami next week, even though I'll probably do a pregame and watch the game. Whatever. I like to torture myself watching New York sports. But guess what? We're going to talk about the game today. We're going to talk about Zach Wilson today as well. Rodrick, since you are a neutral party, unbiased, let's hear your thoughts on the Giants.
Let's take it from the top. So, week one against Dallas, prime time. That will become a theme. You got smoked. No other way to put it. 40-0 at home, embarrassing. And the Cardinals game, you were getting destroyed by the Cardinals. They did come back and win that one, restore a little bit of hope. And then what happened next? Who'd you guys play week three, Russell?
Week 3, we played the 49ers.
The Niners, prime time, never really a game. That's the Niners though. That's understandable. But this week, the Seahawks at home. It's a winnable game, right? And they fall on their face. 11 sacks. Evan Neal was quoted about how the people who criticize him will be flipping hamburgers, which is ironic because after his rookie deal's up, he'll be making my burgers at McDonald's. And all out just embarrassing performance from the New York Giants this past couple of weeks. And they have instilled no hope in their fans to believe anything might change. So I'll let Russell take it from here, though.
Yeah. Roderick basically listed off everything. What am I even supposed to say here? What am I even supposed to say about this god awful football team? Let's look at, I'm not even going to do a bunch of random stats. I'm not going to do it. We can say that, the Giants are being outscored, 64-3 in prime time or something. Yeah. And those two games were at home, mind you, which makes it even worse and pisses me off even more. You can also look at let's go with Evan Neal first because I just want to address that. Like Roderick said, you guys flipping hamburgers and stuff. First of all, look, this is why I don't have sympathy for a lot of these athletes because I'm going to say this, just from a non-football standpoint here. What's wrong with flipping burgers and trying to make a living? I know that's not the best thing, but why are you making fun of those people? And those people that are flipping burgers and are actually going to your games and seeing you miss blocks, run into your own teammates too, mind you, because you do that. You run into your own guys. The fan pays to see you guys suck. We see you suck. Pause. But guess what? We pay our hard-earned money. And yes, I know. I'm not the one paying for tickets. I'm just a kid. Whatever. All right, fine. But, who's watching the games? The fans. We are making you money. So the fact that you're going to go over here and say, you guys are booing. You guys are fake fans, blah, blah, blah. No. No, we, the fans, paid our hard-earned money. We want to see a good product on the field, or at least decent. You guys didn't even play. Like, you guys were awful, awful. And let's talk about Daniel Jones too. Rodrick, just give me your thoughts on Daniel Jones. And you're gonna have to unmute yourself because you muted yourself. So yeah.
My fault. So, Daniel Jones, Vanilla Vic. He's getting killed. The offensive line is terrible. Um, like I said, 11 sacks. He's trying his best. Like I've looked at a couple of the plays where he's scrambling for his life, trying to make a play, and the O line is holding him back. It's not really much to say because Daniel Jones. Let's just start with this. He got overpaid. I think we all know that, and his production is definitely tampered by the offensive line and some other things in play, but he has not taken care of the football this year. That's one. Also, this group that's around him is not littered with talent, right? And that is how it was last year. But this year without Saquon Barkley is just not really the same, right? And I've always been an advocate of the Giants were a bit fluky last year, but this year it's really starting to settle in how they gave $40 million to a guy who's not really really that good. So if you're a Giants fan, I mean, I don't know, but for Daniel Jones, I mean, it's been a rough year, and a lot of it's not his fault, but he is making some mistakes as well, so that has to go addressed.
Yeah. And when you look at Daniel Jones's contract, thankfully, you only really have this year as well, where it's like, okay, guaranteed, blah, blah, blah. But then after those next 2 years, you can kind of, either cut or trade and it won't hurt you as much. Because guess what? A lot of people have been asking me, because like my teachers have been asking, oh, today I got asked, who do you think fits the Giant system much more? Caleb Williams or Drake May? The fact that it is now week 5, and we're talking about Caleb Williams and Drake May is astonishing. It's really astonishing for Giant football. The fact that, some Giant fans were talking about Caleb Williams. Tank for Caleb. Now, guess what? I don't know if the Giants are going to be that bad where they're going to be in that position. But guess what? Let's say they are that bad. Or let's say they get the 3rd or 4th pick. I would love to draft Marvin Harrison Jr. I would love to. Because this team, I'm gonna get into this. Rodrick already touched on Daniel Jones. But if we're talking about receivers, goodness gracious, do we need a number one? We need a true number one receiver because we have not had that since OBJ. Let's look at who we tried to replace OBJ first with Golden Tate. What a disaster. Golden Tate. Dave Gettleman, you already know my opinion on Dave Gettleman. I'm not even going to get into this fat guy. I'm not going to talk about it. But Kenny Golladay. We need to stop signing receivers from the Lions. I'm going to say that. We need to stop doing that. Goodness gracious. But
Kenny.
Okay, Rodrick. Kenny Golladay only scored 1 touchdown, and that was in his last game with the New York Giants.
This is a pretty good catch, I will say. Definitely worth the money.
Is Kenny Golladay on a team right now?
Let me check my notes.
Yeah, let's look that up. No, he is not.
He's not. Oh wow, shocker.
Guess what? We drafted Jalen Hyatt, who I kept hearing about in the preseason, and we don't throw it to him. Daniel Jones, and sometimes this is on Daniel Jones. He does not throw the ball downfield. He doesn't do it. Sometimes I don't understand why, because, look, I get it. The O-line sucks. The O-line sucks. Yeah, I understand that. But also, there are certain times where he holds on to the ball too long. You got a guy, if whether it means dumping it off to your running back, who's right there at times before you get sacked, because not all 11 sacks were, I'm not going to completely blame the offensive line, but that's terrible. 11 sacks in one game. You're trying to make this look like the Giants defense of old. You're going to make the Seahawks look. You're going to make them look like the Chicago Bears from the 80s. That's how you're going to make them look? Like, seriously, what are we doing here? What are we doing? And we can look at, these next few games, these next two games, where they will be 1-5 because they're facing Miami, Buffalo,
Wait, did someone predict that? Oh my gosh, oh wow. Oh wow. 1-5. Wow, that's crazy. It's a very smart individual whoever predicted that. I wonder who he could be.
This is coming from the same guy with, you already see the team and his background. So I'm not even going to respond to that.
I'm not, but I am just saying we did just have a thing where you said you predicted something about someone. I'm not gonna get into it because you'll see that video later. But you predicted something. I predicted something too. I just want to point that out.
Yeah, that's fair. Fair is fair. Fair is fair. And I'm not even going to ramble on too much here. I'm not going to give you the stats and blah, 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 because simply put, this team sucks. They suck. I'm not going to give you, according to this blah, 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 this blah, 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 blah. Saquon has been hurt. We can look at defense. Guess what? In all my keys to victory, they did none of them. They couldn't tackle. I said, you need to tackle. I need to see some tackles. And guess what? On that one play with Noah Fant, they were acting like it was two-hand touch at the middle school game over here, missing him 5,000 times like it's two-hand touch. I said, throw the ball downfield. I said that too. Guess what? We didn't do that at all. I said the Giants need to throw the ball downfield. They didn't do that. I said you can't get into a rut early on in this game. Well, guess what? It's halftime, and I consider it a rut because with all the turnovers, there's just a bunch of bad football from the Giants. Goodness gracious. All right. We're going to move on here to a football team that did better than I predicted. I thought that this game wouldn't really be close. Zach Wilson, even though they lost, I'm going to give Zach Wilson his flowers, and I'm going to say that the refs were being a little.
Oh my gosh! Don't even get me started, dude.
Rodrick,
oh my gosh!
Let's hear your thoughts on the game.
I don't care. I'm tying this into those people back there because it's relevant to the situation. Let me get this the way. Zach Wilson, good job, right? First quarterback, I think, to throw, have more completions than Mahomes, more yards, more touchdowns, and less interceptions in a game ever. So congrats to you. He saw Donna Kelsey. He said, I got to go off. All right. And as far as the refs, the clip of Jermaine Johnson being blatantly held by the Chiefs left tackle is actually egregious. And that word doesn't do it enough justice, but that's got to be – people talk about the script all the time and how the league is scripted and how certain teams are favored to win. That cannot be missed in a National Football League game where we are considering this the highest level in the world of football being played. That's egregious. That's terrible. That cannot happen, right? And then it led to the Mahomes 25 yard run. And the refs, you better get your act together because I swear, dude, if you come into Minnesota and you start missing these calls, I swear I will lose my mind. And also, Taylor Swift sucks. All right, I'm done. So sorry.
Yeah, I think we were all tired of hearing about the whole Taylor Swift stuff because it was getting quite annoying, and even Travis Kelce said that it was too much. So I think that's all you need to hear. But on the topic of Zach Wilson, I just wanted to say that guy needs to keep playing without that headband because clearly, whenever he doesn't wear that headband now, he plays well. When he
It's just
plays,
on a little bit too tight, you know? Gotta
exactly.
loosen up a little bit.
Yeah, maybe it's on his head, a little too
Maybe
tight,
he's
like you
seeing
said.
ghosts.
Yeah, I don't know. But when I look at the Jets here, you're facing the Broncos, and I'm not going to get into like a whole preview because there'll be a separate video for that. But if it's anything to go off of, and if Zach Wilson doesn't wear his headband and is good, I can see this being a big win for the Jets. I
Oh
can.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
I am like I said, and it's one game though, so I'm not going to overreact because we have seen Zach Wilson hasn't been good in the past. So fine, I'm not going to get too excited here, but there's reason for optimism when looking at Zach Wilson. I'm just going to say that there's reasons for optimism now. The fact that he did this prime time against the Chiefs. Everyone's talking about Taylor Swift, blah blah blah. Cruel Summer, blah blah blah. Whatever other Taylor Swift songs. I'm not gonna list all of them because I don't listen to Taylor Swift. But guess what? Everyone's talking about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Guess what you do? You go out there and you outplay Patrick Mahomes.
Yes, Zach.
That's what we like to see. And the fact that
all he has to do. I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
All he has to do is play like that consistently, and this Jets team can win football games.
Yeah, exactly.
That defense is good enough.
Yeah, this team, if he plays like this, could they sneak into the last wild card spot? I don't know. It's a really tough schedule, but I don't know if they'll get a nine or 10 wins. But
I don't.
If I'm a Jet fan and I see 8 wins from Zach Wilson, hey, I'd be okay with that. Given what happened with Aaron Rodgers, because obviously the expectations, there's no more expectations anymore. There's none. So, but the fact that Zach Wilson actually he looked good, but it's one game. So I'm not going to I'm not going to get too over. I'm not going to overreact. But you are facing the Broncos, who have been pretty terrible.
Yes.
The Miami Dolphins scored 70 points against this team. You can win this football game, and I do expect you to win this football game.
The bulletin board material, too, with the whole Hackett situation and the Payton situation. This is a game where, on paper, it's 2 1-3 football teams playing, but this is a big game for both sides, and the Jets, to me, have the advantage. And building off of last week, if Zach Wilson has another good game, which he should have, that's a building block. And I think this is a possibility where all you have to do is just give it to Aaron Rodgers in a situation where he can get you guys into the playoffs because Mr. Ayahuasca's over there doing whatever he's doing with his Achilles. So I don't know what his timetable is, but a situation where if he can get this team to a situation where he can hand it off to Rodgers again, or maybe they don't even have to do that, but he's playing good football right now. If he can continue it, get his career on track, anything is possible. Anything is possible.
Yep. If you can all do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. There will be a baseball review video, which we already recorded, but it's being posted after this. I'll probably post it either tomorrow or the day after. But be on the lookout for that because we're not talking baseball for the next month, even though we really haven't at all. But the Giants are really making me depressed. The Jets, hey, at least you guys have something to look forward to now. You guys have 2 wins. You guys have you have 1. I'm sorry. You have
somebody gave him the script.
But I would consider this next game. I think I'm not going to say, you're going to win this game for sure, but I think you definitely have the 80-20 advantage here. I think you do, and there's a bunch of bulletin board material. because Sean Payton decided to say that about your offensive coordinator and then proceeded to get, drop 70 points on him. So, hey, whatever. We'll
The
see.
opportunity is there. The opportunity is there.
Let's get your second win, Jets. If you can all do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you all in the next video. Peace.